Also, it should be noted, as many of you will be aware, the Shaykh was blind. However, when he was born, he wasn't born blind. The Shaykh was born with eyesight. He was born with eyesight, and he could see, and he could read, and he could write. He had that ability. He wasn't born blind. It was later, when he was approximately 16 years old, when Shaykh Ibn Baaz, rahimahullah, was approximately 16 years old, that some illness occurred to his eyes, and his eyesight began to become weaker and weaker. And when he was approximately 19 or 20, that's when the eyesight completely disappeared. That's when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed that the eyesight was taken completely. But prior to that, up until the age of 16, the Shaykh had eyesight. Clearly he could write and read. And in fact, the old books of the Shaykh, you will find his handwriting on them. His old notebooks and things where he used to make his notes, etc. They are mentioned by the people who were close to the Shaykh. His books have his notes on it, when he used to write in his young days, when he was able to see. And then at the age of 16 onwards, this illness occurred and the eyesight became weaker. And then after that, at the age of 20, it was lost. But the point from that, because it's not just about reading the biography, it's about taking benefits from the lives of the scholars. Nowadays, again, if you were to find an individual who becomes blind, it's hard enough for people to seek knowledge, and they are fit and healthy and they can see. Therefore, consider a person who is blind, and yet he continues and strives and seeks knowledge, as Shaykh Ibn Baaz did. Most people, if they lost their eyesight at the age of 20, for 20 years they could see, at 20 they lose their eyesight, it would be, as the kuffar, they tell you in the media and these places, his world came to an end. Everything finished. Nothing, he was not able to do anything after that. And they have these interviews and everything, my life came to an end that day, and everything finished and it all went to ruin. This is how they think, because they are unaware of the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That decree that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote 50,000 years before the creation of creation. كتب الله مقادير الخلائق قبل أن يخلق السماوات والأرض ب50 ألف سنة وكان عرشه على الماء. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote the decree of all of that which is to occur 50,000 years before the creation of the creation of the heavens and the earth. All of that is written in the decree. And it is upon us to have that patience. Patience is of the greatest of virtues. And that's why Imam Ahmad said it is mentioned in the Quran approximately 90 times. So when this occurred to the Shaykh, it was not as these individuals say, that day my life finished, etc., etc. Rather the Shaykh, he continued upon his striving and seeking knowledge and learning and memorizing. And this didn't prevent him or stop him in any way from seeking knowledge. In fact, after he became blind, those close to him, they say whenever we used to go anywhere, we're sitting in the car with the Shaykh driving to the masjid, we're in an aeroplane going somewhere to Mecca, Medina, whatever it might be. The Shaykh was blind, he used to have somebody with him, reading to him constantly. Driving in the car, going from there to the restaurant, to the masjid, whatever. They say, the Shaykh would say, read something to me now. Read, and the people would read upon him. So this is the way of an individual who has the understanding that Allah is the one who controls all of the affairs. Allah is the one who decrees all of the affairs. And this is similar to the Mufti currently. The Mufti currently, حفظه ta'ala, there was a news story that went round that he's going to have an operation to restore his eyesight. So they went and they asked him, is this true? He said, I've never heard of this. This is baseless. Baseless stories that I'm going to have an operation to restore my eyesight. He said, I am content with that which Allah has apportioned for me. I am content with that which Allah has decreed for me. And this is the way of Shaykh Ibn Baaz, that when this occurred to him, it didn't prevent him in any way. He didn't fall into a state of depression and go and commit suicide as some other people will do. Rather, he continued knowing that this is the decree of Allah, and he continued to strive and learn and benefit. To the extent they say that after he became blind, sometimes somebody would be writing for him on his behalf. The Shaykh would be dictating when he was writing an article or something. He would be dictating and the writer would be writing. Some of these writers, they say on some occasion the Shaykh would say a word and we didn't understand what the word was. And we weren't sure how to write it. So they say the Shaykh, he used to get his palm and spell the word out on his palm. For example, cat, he would say cat and write it out with his hand, showing that in his younger days when he was able to see, he knew how to write and read. Whereas a blind person from birth, he wouldn't know how to write at all. So they say he used to sign out the words on his palm to tell us how to write the word. So he was able to see in his younger days, and then after that, this occurred that Allah decreed his eyesight will be taken.